Welcome to today's session, brought to you by Colaberry Labs. We've got an incredible story for you today. It's all about how a team of interns used AI to completely transform a company's admissions process, taking it from painfully slow to, well, almost instant. So let's dive in and see exactly how they pulled it off.
All right, so here's the big problem they were facing. Just imagine this for a second. You're a student, you're super excited about a new course, right? You send a message asking for info, and then nothing. Crickets. You have to wait a whole day for a reply. I mean, in today's world, a day is basically forever. This is exactly the challenge a team of interns decided to tackle head-on.
And just look at the result. This is a little sneak peek, but wow, they didn't just make it a little faster. No, they completely changed the game. We're talking about going from a one-day wait all the way down to a 30-second response. 30 seconds. So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Let's break it down.
Okay, so first, let's get a feel for what things were like before. The old admissions process, it was painfully manual. I mean, you've got staff members just drowning in endless email chains, trying to track every single lead in these super complicated spreadsheets. It was slow, it was clunky, and it was a massive bottleneck.
And, this wasn't just some minor inconvenience. This had real consequences. Think about it. When a potential student has to wait that long, that initial spark of excitement, it starts to fade. They might start shopping around, looking at other options. That delay was literally costing the company opportunities.
This isn't just a one-off problem. This kind of thing is happening all over the place. We're seeing the U.S. Department of Education modernizing FAFSA, a huge federal push for AI and job training, and colleges everywhere are just swamped with too many inquiries to handle. So this project, it's a perfect snapshot of a much bigger trend happening right now.
And this is where our heroes, the interns, come into the picture. They saw this huge bottleneck, and instead of just shrugging their shoulders, they did something about it. They pitched a really bold idea. Let's automate the whole first contact process. So, what was their mission exactly?
Their goal was super clear. They were going to build an AI assistant that could talk to potential students the instant they showed interest. And this wasn't just about fixing a small problem. No, this was a strategic move. The idea was to turn Colaberry into a leader in AI agent services, and they were using their own admissions process as the perfect proof of concept.
Okay, so how did they actually build this thing? This is where it gets really cool. Let's take a look under the hood at the tech they used and the teamwork that made it all happen.
So, at the core of it all, you have the brain of the operation, GPT 4.1. When a message from a student came in, the model didn't just read it, it actually understood the student's intent. And based on that, it would decide the perfect next move. Maybe that's sending a specific brochure, or maybe it's flagging the chat for a human to step in.
But hey, a real conversation is more than just one and done, right? It's a flow, a back and forth, and that's where a tool called LangGraph came into play. Think of it as the conversation's roadmap. It let them map out all the possible ways a chat could go, with different branches depending on what the student said. This is what made the interactions feel so natural and not like a clunky old bot.
Now, what happens if a student disappears for a couple of days and then replies? For most chatbots, that's a total disaster. They forget everything. But this team was smart. They used something called temporal, which basically acted as the agent's perfect memory. It meant that no conversation ever got lost. The AI could just pick up right where it left off, days later, like no time had passed at all.
And finally, how do you tie all these powerful pieces together? They used a platform called N8N, which is basically a drag-and-drop tool for automation. This was their mission control center. It let them visually connect all the dots: email, SMS, the AI model, you name it. The best part? It made it super easy to tweak things and try new ideas without having to be a hardcore coder.
Of course, having the right tools is only half the battle. The way the team worked together was just as crucial. They used this structured process from Colaberry called show, tell, reflect. It's simple but powerful. Every week, they'd show what they built, tell everyone about their approach and the hurdles they hit, and then reflect on how to make it even better next time. This created this amazing, fast-paced learning cycle.
And get this is really cool. They even built their own AI mentor to help them out. They took all their project notes and documentation and used it to train a custom GPT. So they had an AI coach on call 24/7 that could answer their technical questions. I mean, talk about hands-on learning. It just shows you the kind of self-starting culture they were a part of.
All right, so we've seen the problem, we've seen how they built the solution. Now for the moment of truth, what were the results? Let's take a look, because they are pretty dramatic.
First up, the response time.
This is just staggering. It went from a full 24-hour day down to less than 30 seconds. That's not just an improvement, that's a total revolution. It means you're engaging with that student right at that peak moment of interest before they have a chance to even think about looking elsewhere.
And that incredible speed, it had a huge ripple effect on engagement. The team saw the contact rate, the percentage of students they actually connected with, jump to around 95%. Just let that sink in. Almost no one was falling through the cracks anymore. Every single person who reached out got an immediate, helpful response. And last but not least, let's talk money and time. The efficiency gains were massive. We're looking at about a 90% savings in labor costs for all that initial back and forth. That is huge. It freed up the human admissions team to focus on what they do best, having deep, meaningful conversations with students, while the AI handled the front line.
And when you put it on a chart like this, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? The cost of doing things the old, manual way versus the new AI agent way, it's not even close. This is a total game changer, and it makes the business case for this kind of automation absolutely crystal clear. But, it's not all about the numbers, as impressive as they are. There's a human side to this too. This quote here from Jordan, one of the interns on the project, really hits it home. For them, this wasn't just about coding. It was about seeing how technology can solve real, meaningful problems and actually make the student experience better for everyone.
So, let's zoom out for a second. What's the bigger picture? Because this isn't just one company's cool project. It's really a signpost for where the entire world of education and tech is going.
Yeah, this whole project is basically a perfect little example of these huge shifts we're seeing everywhere. You've got AI becoming a real player in education, this massive boom in automating workflows, and the fact that low-code tools are putting this power into more people's hands. It proves that knowing how to apply AI isn't some far-off future skill. It's something that's creating real value right here, right now.
And that really brings us to the final takeaway. Remember, this whole incredible transformation was driven by a team of interns. They saw a problem and they were given the tools and the trust to go solve it. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If they can do all this, what process in your world is just waiting for a fresh perspective?
Learn more about how Colaberry Labs helps professionals transform learning into real-world AI impact.